I just got out of the theater and watched Beetlejuice Beetlejuice. Let's talk about it. Not gonna lie, when I first saw the trailer to this movie, I thought it looked kind of corny, it looked kind of cheesy, and it kind of looked like a sequel cash grab that I wasn't gonna enjoy at all. I'm not gonna lie, I was also really worried when they announced that Jenna Ortega was gonna be in this film. I don't dislike Jenna Ortega, but when I think of a Beetlejuice movie sequel, I don't want to go and see Jenna Ortega be the main character. That's not what I'm there for. Mainly because I didn't want the movie to focus on her only and her be the only thing that the movie cares about because she's popular at the moment, and then all the original characters are just sidelined like they're not important at all. But she pretty much plays the same character in everything that she's in. She's kind of, if it's a movie that's a sequel to a classic, she's kind of just there to be the voice of the new generation. And, you know, it was pretty much the same thing. And when she was in Scream, she was there to pretty much be like, I don't like slashers. I like movies like The Babadook. What the heck, Ghostface? And in this one, it was kind of the same thing. She was just like, I don't believe in ghosts. What's going on here? What the heck, Beetlejuice? And I need Jenna Ortega to start playing different characters because it's getting old for me. However, all that being said, I'm happy to report that Winona Ryder's Lydia Dietz is the main character of this sequel. We find Lydia struggling to maintain a love life and struggling to maintain her relationship with her daughter. And Winona Ryder does a great job carrying this movie on her back because she pretty much is the main character. Catherine O'Hara returns as Lydia's stepmother, and she is beyond hilarious in this movie. She definitely got the most laughs out of me and the entire theater, more than any other character throughout the whole movie. Great actress, super funny. Like I said, I think her and Winona Ryder really carried this movie more than any other character, even more so than Michael Keaton, who played Beetlejuice, and we'll get into that. Michael Keaton, of course, returns as Beetlejuice, and to be honest, I didn't feel like he gave the character the same zany energy he did in the original. I couldn't tell if he was phoning it in or if he was just there for the paycheck. I didn't know if he was really having fun or not again in the same role. With that being said, he has a lot of great moments and a lot of funny one-liners, but I just don't feel that energy, that Beetlejuice energy that he had again in the original. It just very much feels like he did the voice, but there's no really mannerisms. Like he's kind of just there like an old dad. And I'm like, okay. I mean, he's Beetlejuice and he's doing the voice, but I'm missing the pizzazz that Beetlejuice has, and he didn't really give. I don't feel like he gave it his all. This movie doesn't really rely on its nostalgia, and it doesn't care about holding your hand to help it understand where it's coming from. Either you watched the original or you didn't. This movie doesn't really care about explaining to you what's going on, which isn't a bad thing at all. I really appreciate it for doing that. I don't want it to hold my hand. I don't think it needs to reintroduce itself. Either you've seen the original or you haven't seen the original. And again, I really appreciate the movie for just, it knows exactly what kind of movie it is, and it executes that pretty well. This movie does have its moments of nostalgia, but it's never in your face or like ever like, hey, remember this part from the original? It never does that, and I really love that it didn't do that. But without spoiling it, this movie does have its own dinner scene where the song Deo plays like what's playing above me. However, it doesn't take place at a dinner, and it's not the same song. It's a different song, and I'm very surprised by the song choice that Tim Burton went with. It's a classic song. They didn't use the version that I'm used to hearing, but it's a really good song, and I love that song. The version that I'm used to hearing is performed by Donna Summer, so I'm just really surprised they went with that song, and I really enjoyed it. I thought it was funny. To me, it was the highlight of the movie. There are some details in this movie that kind of hold it back for me a little bit, like there's a lot going on in this movie. There's a lot of different plots going on, and Towards the end of the movie, everything kind of collides into one big mush, and the resolution to each plot and each part of this movie, it unfortunately feels very rushed because we got to go to the next part and we got to go to the next part. So that's like kind of the only detail that's wrong with this movie, is that there's so much going on that at the end it's like, okay, what was the point? I feel like there was a lot of story in this that could have been cut and was not necessary, because it gets a little convoluted towards the end. Tim Burton is back in his element with this movie. I think this is the best movie he's put out in a very long time. I can tell he really wanted to update the sequel for the new generation while staying true to the original. This movie gets a little bloody at times, and there's a couple curse words in this movie that I was surprised about, because I don't think the original cursed that much, and it definitely wasn't that bloody. So he definitely brought Beetlejuice in for the new generation. But as an OG fan of the original, he did it justice. He did it great. He did a great job. Visually, the movie was beautiful, in my opinion, in his own little gothic way that he loves to do, in his own little Tim Burton-esque filmmaking style. I think with all like the many different plots in this movie, I feel like he just was sitting over the years and he took all those ideas he probably had for a Beetlejuice sequel and like threw them all into this movie. And I could tell he had a lot of fun with it. I can tell he really enjoyed making this movie. It was very nostalgic in a way that it's like, oh yeah, this is a Tim Burton movie, and I miss this kind of movie from him. And so I'm just really happy to see that again. With all that being said, this movie was really entertaining. It was really funny. I had a great time. I'm going to go see it again on Friday. I would rate the movie a 7.5 out of 10. It's a great way to kick off the Halloween season, and I recommend going to see it with a group of friends, going to see it with your family, have a good time. It's a pretty good movie, and I definitely recommend it. Please like, comment, and share. Comment down below what you thought of the movie, if you've seen it yet, or if you haven't seen it yet, when are you going to go see it? And I'll catch you guys on the next one.